I invite him when I talked to him and said that we wanted him to be here. He said, "What is your interest? What is the interest of my work?" And it was part for people to understand when they are ill, how do you lose your rhythm? How is your life affecting in your illness? How is your daily motion affecting in your illness? How is your illness affecting to your rhythm? How is your culture? How is the limitations of the barriers, the limits that we put to music, to expression, and so on. So I usually show without saying anything, and then we talk. And Johanna, she probably has seen it already 10 times too, because I made them to see it, it's compulsory. So when we were organizing and thinking who was coming and decided, it was an agreement right away that John Roar should be here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons to watch the film. For me, the real key is just the inspiration. I can use this film to help people look at coordination and gait and movement from an inside place. But that's actually not that's not quite as important as the
Microphone's not working.
Okay, it is or isn't?
No, it is.
Okay. And so, but that's not as important to me as the inspiration. As in the film, you see this continual inspiration of people joyfully engaged in life. And even when there's no real reason, you're working hard. Well, why are we doing this? And that's something beautiful, a beautiful message for us to get. So once more, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You see, for me, coming here, I mean, in a way, this is a blind date. It is, because you have seen the film when I came and understood to what extent you appreciate it. I said, wow, I never experienced anything like that. It was not meant specifically for you. I call it the muse within imperative. I had to convey to people, share with people, something about divine flow and the urge to live while we are here. And I feel so grateful that you have used it so many times. So maybe I can add a little bit. I feel that the movie, it grows with you, as it should. It's not an index finger saying do so and so. It's not a method. But you are big trees with a lot of branches on it that is flowering with new fruits, and you are blessing it with other people in it. So I'm so grateful for that. And if I can add something to it, I will try to do that now. Right? So try to tell you, because normally when I lecture, I don't lecture about the film. I lecture about things in my books, which is about the same, and the book over there is the basic things for the movie. So I feel humble and proud and curious. In a way, you don't meet, in another way, you know me too much because you've seen me there so many times. For me to start how this road started going, that was what I would call a moment of grace. A moment of grace. And that was me meeting my first child. When she became my mentor. She turned me totally around. I was very deeply into languages and communication at school. I was a school achiever. I love words. And suddenly, I was standing in front of this baby, 3.5 kilos. So tiny, so little, so weak at the same time, so strong. And I bowed down to her and said, "Where is Daddy? Here is Daddy." And I started doing the nursery rhymes in my language. Det ranket till möllerens hus. Där är ingen hjemme utan lille kattepus. Så satt på en bänk och drack av ett skut. And the baby goes. And that hit me, you see. And I was closer to that baby. Maybe the first kiss with my wife. Something like that. It was so unique and it was beyond words. And I had to reconsider a lot of things. And I started, you know, as a music artist, to think, how do we get language? How do we acquire life? We are not looking up things in a dictionary. We are not explaining how to live. We live. So I started systematically, totally in love, following the sounds of the baby. Going around saying, you know what she's telling me today? Oh, my friend said, oh, here's John again. Ooh. Next day, oh. 1 week later, oh. And I started to tape it, to explore who am I as a father. And singing, clapping. I was the biggest comedian in the world, you know, with that baby. Greater than Chaplin, you know, the king on the road. And she made me king, and she was my queen. So it started like this. And doing all these rhythms. I remembered Bjorkvald saying, it don't mean nothing if it ain't got that swing. It's deadly, it's so right. It don't mean nothing if it ain't got that swing. And then the little baby was 1.5 years old or something, and she wanted to walk. Exploring life. I gradually came to understand that to learn is exploration of life. Who am I? Who are we? That's the urge to learn. And she was, you know, stumbling around, usually with a handkerchief or something in her hand. And, you know, like this. And she was singing. And I was puzzled. Should I start taping the sound, see if she's hitting C major or a third? If she has got a future as a singer or something like that? It was very hard for me to vaguely understand that the body was singing and singing was a body. Should I leave the physical development of the little lady to some specialist in body development and then drag the sound part of it to the Institute of Musicology at my university? It was in a way meaningless, but I didn't have the words. You know, we get words from our cultures. That's enrichment, and it implies limitations. If you don't have the words, you don't see it. And I didn't have the words. If body is sound, and sound is body, I could say that, I could see that. Gradually I understood that. But I didn't have the words. So I followed that girl of mine into the kindergarten. Then she was an experienced learner. And then you had 25 kids fumbling around, crying, laughing, fighting, communicating, exploring life, developing. And they were singing. Not staying like in a choir, you know. Not like a Pavarotti thing, but you know. Movement. Wow! Jumping, flowing, crying, and singing. So I decided to explore not only myself, but to challenge my musicology. No, I haven't brought a tape, but I have a wonderful tape with a mother, a Swedish mother with her baby. It's a lot, I can sing it for you. Når trollmor har lagt sine 11 små troll og bundet dem fast i havet, da synger hun sangen for 11 små troll, de vakreste ord hun aner. Ho-ai-ai-ai-ai buff, ho-ai-ai-ai-ai buff, ho-ai-ai-ai-ai buff, buff, ho-ai-ai-ai-ai buff. That's a song. The baby is blind. He is laughing, and the mother is in ecstasy. You see, it's absolutely unique, and she starts in the first octave. By the end, she's in the third octave. Beyond anything, energy. If I present that little tape to my colleagues and ask them to comment on it, they will say, "Well, this is a lullaby." Correct. Is it A minor? Correct. It is Swedish? Correct. They say something about the tempo. Ask them what you think about the voice of the mother. Well, it's a mezzo, soprano. All these things that goes into the professional sort of context of music people. But that's nothing to do with the function of the song. Why is the song bringing those people to heaven? It's because she is singing truthfully. She is singing truthfully. It's not a question of a bel canto, talent. It's about truth. You see, and then I must turn my colleagues around to listen otherwise. The meaning of the sound, and then the meaning of the body, and then the meaning of the sound body and the body sound. And then you had to add the intonation of the verbal language and the glowing cheeks and the sweating while you're singing, and the context and the holistic sort of view becomes greater and greater. And I feel more and more helpless in a way because I haven't got the words. But the experience is so deep. Speaking of mindfulness, oh yeah. Mindfulness pulsating in core, to use Ed. Well, so at one point, it took years, because I'm a slow thinker. Oh yes, to get beyond your professional field is a very hard thing to do. But I told myself, if these little kids could express what they are doing, what would they say? How would they explain to us what they are doing? Because I felt uneasily that I'm watching and listening on an adult professional kind of, station. And the kids, they're not writing down what they are doing. They're doing it. It's just an oral thing. It's oral culture. So at one point I said, hey, do you know how many oral languages there are in the world compared to the written ones? They say that there are more, I'm convinced about that, but there are approximately 6,000 languages in the world. 6,000. Only a minority has got a written, developed tradition. 100, 150, the rest are oral. And the children all over the world are oral, conquering the world. So it's, well, hey, I don't know Swahili, but Swahili is an oral language. So I asked for a dictionary of the Swahili language, and my hypothesis was that I wouldn't find the word music in it. The same way that I wouldn't find music in the oral universe of children. You see? I looked it up and I found it. And I will never forget my aha. Music. And the reference was Western European art music. Avreka. If I'm listening to music, trying to understand what we are doing as children, moving around, talking, fighting, playing, singing, this is way off the mark. Way off the mark. We are missing the target totally. So, you know, I'm a university professor. So I found a colleague of mine, he's specialized in Cameroon languages. You know, in northern Cameroon, the film is from northern Cameroon. There are, you know, documented around 250 different languages in northern Cameroon. That's quite a lot. So I asked him, what word would indigenous tribes use? We Europeans, that we would say music. And then he laughed and said, Goma. Go, I write like that. Go. 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 And he explained to me, Goma is body movement, singing, being together, celebrating sensuality. Yes! At the moment I switched on to Goma, I could see what was going on in Norwegian kindergartens. It was Goma. A few days before I left to be brought into this distinguished family of international therapists in Benasim, I got a visit from Copenhagen. It's a woman from Kenya, working with theater and dance. Now she's settled in Copenhagen. She wanted to meet me because she couldn't understand how a white pink man, pinkish man, could get into Ngoma. So she said, I had to meet you and you must have tried to explain to me. How could you get it? And we had a wonderful lunch together. You can find her picture of her on my website. In her language, in Kenya, it's called Tom. Exactly the same thing. Tom. Ngoma, Tom. I have a friend, Kwame Sereba, from the Ivory Coast. He used to call me brother when I meet him. I feel very proud about that. He said, you wouldn't call him a drummer because he's a Ngoma man, you know. He's singing, drumming, laughing, playing. Mindfulness. Excuse me. Excuse me. In his language, it is sa. Sa. He's a sa man. Sa. And then I started to explore languages beyond Europe. The moment I started going beyond our cultures, I found it again and again and again. You can't just take the music sound away from the context of life. You can't do that. You go to language after language. I've written about it in my book. Language after language. Wow, wow, wow. And here we are in Europe and say a song. And where are the smiles? Where are the heartbeats? Where are the tears? How can we allow ourselves to take the tears away from song? we do. So that was for me a big discovery. And the moment I understood it, it was obvious. You could take it for granted. But it took some years, because it's hard to get beyond. After all, I'm a professional man. I don't teach harmony, you see, and counterpoint. And to get access to my department of musicology, you have to know the difference between major and minor. If you don't, forget it. But at the same time, that's a paradox. The baby or the child doesn't give a damn about major and minor. It has nothing to do with what is going on. So then it took some time. I could vividly see what was going on in kindergartens in my country. I went to Russia. I went to the United States to compare. Oh, of course, you found the same thing. Go everywhere. I had to go to Africa. Why should I? Children are children everywhere. But then, you know, I'm into grammar. I speak Russian. So Russian is a grammatical language like German in many ways. And I said, hey, if you have the object goma, what is the verb that gives attention to ngoma? How do they think to get ngoma? So this time I didn't use the dictionary. I phoned in my colleague who specialized on Cameroon languages, and I said, Rolf, his name's actually Rolf. But he's not a Rolfer. His name is Rolf Tel Andresen. His name's Rolf. Since they are doing Goma, they must think otherwise. He said, John, I've been waiting for that question for years. And he said, in these languages, you don't specialize vision from hearing or moving. It's the same thing, because we sense holistically in synesthesias. You see, if I get a phone call from someone unknown to me, if it's a lady, my brain just immediately produce a female face, right? Yes. I can't isolate the sound on the telephone from producing a face. That is synesthesia, right? You produce a holistic picture. That's the way we do it. And in Swahili, it is sikia. They experience the world sikia-wise and do goma, right? And sikia explained to me, you can't split the body from the song, you can't split hearing from viewing, from moving. So into the sikia, there's one thing that is taken away, he said, and that is taste. And it explained to me, because you see, the exploration of taste has to do with survival. So many poisonous things in the world. So to be practical, they specialized taste. But otherwise, one thing, sikia. If I look at your face, like yesterday we had this, workshop with eye connection. Of course, there will be an emphasis on vision, but not excluding the rest. So context will direct, the center of attention around flexibly. But there's one big thing. Well, And I had to emphasize now that at that point I hadn't been in Africa at all. My concern, my really big pain was, you see, I did my PhD on spontaneous sound communication amongst children, the first in the world doing that. Okay, no, I mean, we had set our foot on the moon, right? Mm-hmm. But we had not described systematically the first step through Ngoma in the world, and I thought that was more important. So therefore I took the challenge and did my PhD on it. But my big concern, you know, research is like that. You can't plan it. If you're open, it will direct you in different directions. And what I could see is that children learn dramatically, qualitatively differently from Western education. It's not Ngoma based. Children, I like Bodywisdom because children are Bodywisdom people. The intellect plays a role, but it's a minor role. It's a minor role. And teachers in the Western world, they insist upon the brain, you know, to be in control. And orality is something primitive. Analphabet, you know, can't even read and write. So my mission in life, in a way, has been to promote and passionately as possible a Ngoma approach to education. And I'm proud to say that 2 years ago, the Norwegian Prime Minister opened a Ngoma school in Norway, the first one. Yeah. And the Norwegian Parliament has spent some millions on it, and the politicians have agreed upon it, and I hope there'll be more than one before I die. Because if they, you know, it's like having a grand piano, a Steinway. If the strings are broken, no pianist in the world can play Mozart, you see. And too many strings are broken in the children. In my country now, I think that theory is the key to everything. Not body wisdom, but kind of a fake, what I call brain wisdom. 30% leave before graduating from high school. And then I come to you. Some of them. You see? Kind of a lost generation. So that has been my mission. Well, I had a plan to make a film about rhythm and flow. I've been a lot to all the Nordic countries, and of course it's translated to Nordic countries, but when the book came to Japan and China, it's because Chinese children and Japanese children are doing Ngoma, of course. It's the same thing. But I had a plan with a Swedish producer to do a film about rhythm and flow and the clash. Losing flow, losing rhythm, losing mindfulness, no access to core. And we were planning, Birgitta Solman, the Swedish producer, and I, we were really had planned this for some time. Then I got a phone call from a photographer. And he said he had been in Africa. His name is August. He had been in Africa many years. And his colleague that started a new company. They wanted, you know, that produced the miseries of Africa to Norway for a lot of years. The hunger, the famine, the children, dying children, wars, everything, for Norwegian television to get money to more support. But they had not had shown anything about the vitality of African cultures until they got children that were doing Ngoma, I guess. You see, so then I wanted to do that, and then I applied for money, and then I didn't know about that, but then the people in the Committee of Economics said, you must read Bjorkvald first, my book. In my language, it's called the musiske menneske. So that did, and he said, well, it's all here. Have you been in African Bowl? Why don't we take a trip? So we got to know the Cameroon. And a lot of things happened there. And I didn't want that it should be a film about me. It should be a film about moments of flow. When the inner muse starts singing, like the Sleeping Beauty getting kissed. You know? So, here we come. It's very hot. I think it was 46 degrees or something. It was extremely hot. I can feel it right now. They knew we were coming. I was told that the Nangasao king, the village king in Nangasao, has got 6 wives. I've got 1. His skin is ebony black. My skin is pink. I don't know a thing about Cameroon. He doesn't know a thing about Norway. He thought he had about 30 children. I know that I got 3, exactly 3. He said something about mistresses. Some of it was heritage from his father. I didn't get 1 mistress from my father. You know, everything in the world different. And here I come, it's so hot. And I'm coming into the village, and there I'm meeting me. They know I was coming. For one reason or the other, I don't know why. And how. Only the elderly man, you will see it shortly now, running, no him. And what do? I can't then go up to them and say, hello, my name is Jan Bjorkvald. I'm a professor of musicology at University of Oslo. Nice to meet you.
No, doesn't work.
You don't greet your first child saying, I'm your father, my name is Bjorkvald. It would be nice to share life with you. Where is that? You know. So I started walking, and I didn't know that the photographer took the cameras out, started filming. It's not but it's a moment when it sings. But it couldn't be in the films, things like this. But then it would be defocused. But I will share it with you now. You are going into the inner universe here. Insistently. Understanding. And I'm feeling that they are surrounding me and giving me into the circle of friendship. Can you see they are moving? Core and core. What's searching for something here? Attention. Deeper down, beyond words. I would say hours, I don't know how long we've been at late. This is called emergence. You go beyond, you see, into something else. Something bigger. And suddenly I get a bow. And of course, you know what that means. We are brothers. Forget about the semantics of languages. And then, this was so strong that he invited me to a personal conversation in Africa, and then he had put on his royal dress. Listen now. You see, he said, I trust you. We are brothers. Please do. These are my women. He invited me to his private harem. We're not allowed to see his women there, but I went after all. And the interpreters, they were stunned. I said, because his veil fell up, and he said, we have never seen the Sultan's face before. We have never seen the Sultan smile before. So I got permission to do the film with the women. That gives something to you that you can use, because they sense, sit here. You see? I'm doing the Ngoma. In my book, there's a African philosopher called Nanwanu. He discusses the European and the African tradition. We, from detail to detail, deeper down in details, the more we think we understand. Systematized details on the anatomy level, all the time. A little bit of the muscle, deeper down in the muscle, deeper down, deeper down, deeper down. While the Africans go the other way and get other things. And normally when I meet people, I say, give me a song. Because the importance, the first year, it's like, how do you get identity? From the Ngoma thing. Where song is a crucial part of it. So into songs, it's the vein linking you to life. So I ask for the children's songs then. And then we play, and then, okay?
Yeah.
And don't say, I don't remember the words, or my voice is not good. All right, I'll just drink a Okay. Should we start splitting it into, we'll sing it first. And I want it in Spanish, American, Norwegian, Danish, whatever language, okay? Fader Jakob, sover du, hører du ei klange, bim bam bom, bim bam bom. One more. Fader Jakob, sover du, suddenly ei klange, bim bam bom, bim bam bom. Split you start, sir. Father, not you. Fader Jakob, sover du, suddenly ei klange, bim bam bom, bim bam bom. Fader Jakob, just this one song. And then I ask the people, what do you feel? Give me your word now.
Happy.
Energy. Happy. Come on.
Free.
Free.
Friendship.
Union.
Connection.
Vibration.
Union.
Union.
Joyful.
Joyful.
Release.
Connection.
Connection.
Emotion.
Yes. Connection. Ally.
Yes.
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
And you know, people think that this state of mind, the Goma state of mind, is so fluent. I will leave it in a short time, and it's over. No, it's not over. The Sleeping Beauty is waiting for you to be kissed. It's there all the time. Kiss me. See? Kiss me. And the moment you're kissing the muse within, you're evoking this. Wherever I met 10,000 of people, in China, in Russia, United States, Nordic countries, of course, Serbia, wherever, always this. Always, it's so stable. If you make statistics out of it, you can get an orgasm. Oh, you know, it's there. It's so stable. But we have to be connected. And here, in these words, are your identity. Here is the identity. This is the basic experience of life that I experienced with my baby and with the Nagasao king. And now you got it.